Welcome to Unit 4. We are going to be talking about reading informational texts. So in this new unit, Research and Informational Synthesis, you've analyzed already the fiction and the symbolism. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our focus into real-world reading. And every day we are flooded with information. Articles, blogs, news, social media posts, and not all of it is going to be reliable. So today we're going to learn how to identify what main ideas are, analyze the author's purpose, and evaluate credibility so you can tell fact from just spinning a story. And by the end of this lesson, you're going to be able to read any informational text and identify its core message, what it's saying, and why. You're also going to look at how the author is trying to influence the reader through their tone, their reasoning, and their evidence. And then lastly, we'll talk about credibility, what makes a source trustworthy versus what makes it questionable. So informational text is writing that communicates real-world knowledge. It can explain a topic or share data or make an argument, but even factual writing has a point of view. So a news article might inform, while an editorial is going to persuade. And as readers, it's our job to look for main ideas. It's our job to look for evidence and bias, not just take everything at face value. And every strong informational text has a clear main idea. We want to think of it like the nucleus of an atom. Every other detail is going to orbit around it. So we want to look for clues in the title. Look for clues in the first paragraph, or maybe repeated phrases. And if you can summarize the article in one sentence, then you've likely found what the main idea is. So I want you to read a short article headline and read the subheading. And I want you to predict what the main idea is going to be. And authors always write with a goal in mind. So if the text lists facts and definitions, it's likely informative. If it uses emotional language or it makes a call for action, it's persuasive. And if it tells a story or if it uses humor, maybe it's entertaining. So we want to look for the tone. Is it neutral? Is it passionate? Is it sarcastic? Is it urgent? That's going to be your clue to the author's purpose. So in this digital age, credibility is everything. Anybody can publish online, but that doesn't mean that it's true. So we want to check the author's background. What is the date of the article or the thing that you're reading? What supporting data is there? If the article feels one-sided or emotional, pause and ask yourself, is this a fact or is it an opinion? Good researchers always verify before believing. So I want you to practice with me. This is a short passage that's presenting both sides. And that's the sign that an author aims to inform rather than persuade. So the main idea is centering on the debate over digital versus print learning tools. And so to test credibility, we're going to check the author's credentials and the data behind each claim. Remember that a balanced tone is for informative purposes. Emotional or biased tones are persuasive purposes. So the passage here, in recent years, some schools have replaced printed textbooks with digital ones. Advocates argue that ebooks are lighter, cheaper, and easier to update. Critics, however, warn that screen time can reduce comprehension and focus. So I want you to take a moment and just put down, what is the author's main idea here? And what is the author's purpose? And is this source credible, and why or why not? So take a moment and write down your answers. Authors are going to use language strategically. The words waste time versus explore new tools are going to communicate opposite tones, like negative versus positive here. So the example, students waste time online versus students explore new learning tools. we can see that it's either a negative connotation or a positive connotation. And credible information writing usually avoids those emotional extremes. So when you see loaded words or exaggeration or one-sided claims, you need to ask yourself, is this reporting or an opinion? So we can use this checklist here for when we do research. Good readers are going to evaluate, they don't just consume. So the credibility of what we're reading is going to depend on the authority, who wrote or published it. It's going to depend on the accuracy. Are the facts verified by other sources? The currency of it. When was it published? The purpose of it. Is it meant to inform or persuade? Is there bias? Is one side ignored or exaggerated? These professional sources balance the evidence with the reasoning, and biased ones are only going to rely on emotion or fear. So let's test your instincts here. Some statements are factual, they're measurable or provable, and others are going to express belief or judgment. Facts can be checked, opinions can't, but they're going to reveal the author biased. So good researchers distinguish between the two before they draw conclusions. So on your paper, I want you to label each statement as either, is this a fact or is it an opinion? So the first one is the average teenager spends over 7 hours a day on screens. The second one is teens today are addicted to technology. The third is many schools use online learning platforms daily. And the fourth is using social media improves communication skills. So next to each one, I want you to write down whether this is a fact or it's an opinion. Critical readers don't just ask, what does this say? They ask, why should I trust it? Your ability to recognize purpose and tone and credibility is going to shape how you understand everything from essays to news stories to social media posts. So I want you to, on your paper, explain in 3 to 4 sentences how can identifying author purpose and tone help you to read more critically. And what kind of questions will you ask to check a source's credibility next time that you do some research?